All right. Hello and good morning. My name is Maggie Gilchrest, and today I'm going to be discussing prison reform in America and the adversity that inmates face in and out of prison. Approximately 2 million people are currently in America's prison system. This number doesn't include everyone who has been in prison in the past and will be in prison in the future. This graph depicts that many people in prison struggle with mental health and substance abuse. These issues are often what leads them to commit crime. "20% of our population is currently incarcerated. Like previously shown, more than half of inmates have mental health issues. There's a significant correlation between mental health, substance abuse, poverty, and crime. Many who struggle financially resort to crime to stay afloat. Close to 150,000 mothers are incarcerated. 12 out of 13 prisons have been found to use excessive force as a form of punishment, including batons, chemicals, and physical abuse. All of this information led me to my question, to what extent are American prisons in need of reform? After research, I found that prisons are incredibly corrupt. These are the factors that led me to my conclusion: physical and mental and sexual abuse, poor health care and living conditions for inmates, and the handful of attempted yet unsuccessful reforms. Prisoners and ex-inmates have reported abuse of all kinds from guards as well as other inmates. Although usually people are witnesses to these horrible acts, they often go unreported due to fear, as well as knowledge that the reports rarely lead to any punishment, especially when a guard or superior is your abuser. As Yale graduate Cheryl Bell states, of the 2,000 sexual incidents that were estimated to have occurred in the Philadelphia prison system, only 156 were documented, 96 were reported, and 64 were listed in prison records, and 40 actually resulted in interdisciplinary actions. In prisons, healthcare is lacking. Nelson Mandela, the author of the stimulus piece A Long Walk to Freedom, explains that it can take months to get necessities as simple as a toothbrush. Women face a unique difficulty in prison, being pregnancy. Prenatal care is nearly non-existent in prisons. Women have reported not seeing their doctor until the time they're giving birth, and then not seeing them ever after. All genders, however, face poor health care. Carol Suffin states that incarceration presents serious health risks. Prisons expose people to violence, sexual assault, injury, communicable diseases, poor nutrition, and poor living conditions. The need for prison reform has been out in the open for a long time. Acts and bills have been passed in attempts to reform prisons, even as recently as April 2022. However, these bills lack enforcement of the guards. Many ex-inmates have reported guards refusing to follow acts in place to protect inmates and not receiving any punishment. Professor Sebastian Faves states that as state employees, prison staff may view these prisoners as enemies of the state. This can lead to the potential for biased, prejudicial behavior and abusive practices directed towards these prisoners. Existing staff can apply outdated or corrupt practices and hold institutional biases that undermine the efforts to manage these prisoners. In order to properly reform the prison system and save millions of lives, prisons must provide trauma and trigger training for guards and require close observation while they learn nonviolent punishments. Aside from teaching guards new ways, inmates need more resources. They should have weekly therapy as well as counselors available at all times. They should be taught employable skills for once they are released and given the opportunity to get their GED. Additionally, yearly physicals and, for women, gynecology appointments should be required. All requirements that would qualify a home as livable should also be met in prisons. The limitation to this would be acquiring the cost to pay for additional training and staff would be incredibly difficult, as therapists, doctors, and other resources are expensive. Unfortunately, even if the proposed solution was put into place, it would take time to be implemented. As mentioned on the previous slide, some guards refuse to follow the new laws. This could result in a loss of skilled staff. However, the implications are being treated correctly by guards would result in less trauma forming within the prison, as well as potentially a healthy relationship between guard and prisoner. With weekly therapy, inmates could process and work through past and present emotions. The rate of disease and death would decrease as sicknesses would be caught early with more doctor care. When taught skills, inmates can gain jobs when they are released, breaking the cycle of poverty and crime. All this information presented yields the conclusion that a reform in America is crucial. However, due to the suggested solution requiring time to affect lives, the next step that we can all take is prevention. Anyone can help by volunteering at homeless shelters or making supply bags to pass out to the needy. By taking care of those struggling financially with domestic abuse or substance abuse, we can slow the rate of people becoming incarcerated. If you're interested in helping your community and volunteering, or if you know anyone in need, these are some reputable shelters in the Nashville area. And these are my sources.
Maggie, did your research go in a different direction than you originally planned or hypothesized?
Yes, I was originally planning on focusing solely on women's shelter or women's prisons, but as I kind of dug into the topic, I discovered that men's prisons were just as corrupt and needed to be reformed as well. So.
Okay, Maggie, what additional questions came up through your research, and why are they important?
Yeah, so most of the research that I found referred to the guards as men, and I will probably continue to research on my own and see how many female guards there are, as well as how the inmates' experiences differ with female guards.